everybody, Will Davis with the Monroe County Reporter. Here are some of the top stories you will find when you pick up a copy of this week's best little paper in Georgia. A Forsyth Garden apartment woman went to jail Friday, January 14th, accused of assaulting her boyfriend and the father of her baby. His name is Garrett Wright, and he called the Forsyth Police Department to report that his girlfriend, Shanisha Horton, had assaulted him, attacked him, hit him in the face, and broke his glasses. Why? Well, according to Mr. Wright, he had confronted his estranged baby mama about the fact that when he went to change the child's diaper while it was staying with him for a few days, he found a sex toy, multiple sex toys in the baby bag, and confronted her about it. Miss Horton was not happy about that confrontation and let him know it violently, according to the Forsyth Police Department, as she now faces assault and other charges. See the details in this week's Reporter.
Hey Monroe County, if you're planning a wedding, a big event, a corporate Christmas party, we have the place for you. Our friends at Macon Tent Rentals, Jeff Holloway and his team are Monroe County residents, and they are the best. They are the top of the pack when it comes to tent rentals and preparing for the equipment for a big party. Tents, tables, chairs, lighting, dance floors, staging, pipe, drapes, cooling units, linen, cafe lights, just to name a few. You can even pick up items for rent at their location. Call now for a free quote, 478-746-8269.
The family of a High Falls man who was killed in custody of the Monroe County Jail back in January of 2020 has filed suit against the sheriff's office and jailers for their son's treatment. They did not ask a dollar amount. They filed it in federal court just before the 2-year statute of limitations expired. It was January 15, 2020, that Josh Marshall, age 40, died while in custody at the jail. He had been arrested after his family, his father, in fact, called Monroe County deputies to their home saying their son was assaulting him. He was hiding in the woods, the father was, from his son, who was wearing a pocket knife around his neck and weighed 300 pounds. He also suffered from schizophrenia. When they took him to the jail, he had another outburst in a fight, and deputies put him in a chokehold. The lawsuit claims the chokehold was not part of Monroe County Sheriff's procedures and policies, and therefore they are suing under a civil rights violation, saying that jailers failed to exercise due care and to give him medical attention after their son turned blue and lifeless. They are also suing to collect the medical fees and the burial fees for their son. Find out more in this week's Reporter.
Take a cue from me. Do you really want to be informed? Subscribe to the Reporter and do it today.
Hey y'all, it's Tammy Rappers-Eater standing in for Donna Wilson with this week's Incident of the Week. A call to dispatch that a woman was speeding through the Walmart parking lot with both doors open on her vehicle sent Officer John Bogdan to the store on January the 10th. The driver told Bogdan she was in her 14-year-old daughter's vehicle and was testing the brakes. She said she had classes at the Georgia Public Safety Training Center and was waiting for it to open and was just killing time. The officer told her not to be speeding through the parking lot and to go wait somewhere else.
Well, for about 10 minutes last Thursday, it was illegal in Monroe County to have windows without screens, pools without fences, or fences without a pane or stain on them. And then county commissioners rescinded the same 32-page ordinance just moments after they passed it, saying they wanted to review it first to make sure it's not too strict. Now, it's been more than a year Monroe County commissioners have been trying to clean up the county. They say they're tired of people living in campers and RVs in the middle of wooded lots illegally. The county's current ordinance is only 6 pages, and so commissioners are looking at a 32-page ordinance. Georgia Mommy, the District 4 commissioner from the High Falls area, said he's fed up and had it, and he proposed to pass the entire ordinance, even without deletions that had been made by County Code Enforcement Officer Jeff Wilson. Commissioners went along 4-1, but Commissioner Eddie Rowland didn't go along. He said he was in violation of the same rules. So commissioners backed up and rescinded the ordinance, and then we'll review further. Meanwhile, our own Steve Reese talked to people who are living in these campers and RVs about what it's like. Many claim they're grandfathered in. It will be a controversial issue if it passes. And also, Monroe County commissioners put in a moratorium on new subdivisions as they grapple with fast growth. Just last year, the county had the most new homes permitted that it ever had, over 300. Find out more in this week's Reporter.
Hello, my name is Terry Johnson and I write Monroe Outdoors for the Reporter. This week's column will deal with the annual Christmas bird count. The Christmas bird count has been around for some 122 years, and here in Monroe County it has been run for the last 50 years. It is the largest birding event in the world, so I think in a sense you could call it the Super Bowl of birding. The whole concept is you go out there, teams go out there, and they try to count as many birds as they can within a 24-hour period. And this information is used by biologists and others to determine the status of winter bird populations, the effect of climate on birds, and also range expansions or reductions that are taking place. This week in the Reporter, you're going to find out why the people that participated in this year's count were alarmed by the results. Read all about it in this week's report.
Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories.
In sports, in this week's Reporter, the Mary Persons Mat Dogs, the wrestling program, just under 5 years since they were created, and now they make history by going all the way to the Sweet 16. They beat Greater Atlanta Christian, a private school out of the metro area, 54-9 to advance to the Sweet 16, where they lost to Oconee County. But the Bulldogs having a great year, and they still have more wrestling. The region meet still to go. Also, the Mary Persons basketball teams had a rough week last week. They played region leaders Americus and Peach County. Both the boys and the girls lost, but they hope to get back on track this week, find out who they play where in this week's Reporter. And also in this week's sports coverage of the University of Georgia Bulldogs in the National Championship celebration. Forsyth cheerleader was on hands. Find out more in the Reporter.
This week's Monroe County Reporter is filled with all kinds of stories from the community. One big one is the Martin Luther King Day celebration in Forsyth. The committee that put that together had to work very hard this year to trying to adapt to restrictions from COVID. They cut out the march from the square down to Kynette United Methodist Church that's been a part of it for many, many years. But they put together an excellent program and carried it out in spite of some bitter, cold, windy weather. They had some excellent music. They had an excellent speaker, Jesse Hicks, who came, the head football coach of Baldwin County High School, who came over with a good message. And our local Reverend Clarence Thrower gave the opening prayer, and Reverend Rufus Swatley closed it all with some good messages and other speakers in between and some great music.
Whenever I go camping at High Falls State Park, I always make sure to bring the Reporter so I don't miss anything. You should too. Subscribe to the Reporter today.